Welcome to Digestible Books, where powerful ideas come in small doses. Today, we're diving into the full summary of Think and Grow Rich, a book that's helped millions shift the way they think, live, and work. Let's break it down. Napoleon Hill starts with an exciting promise. Somewhere hidden within the pages of this book lies a secret that has helped ordinary people achieve extraordinary success. But he doesn't hand it over on a silver platter. Instead, he invites readers on a treasure hunt of sorts, encouraging sharp attention and an open mind. Hill insists that success isn't reserved for the lucky or the privileged. It's available to anyone willing to learn and apply certain principles. Right away, there's an air of excitement, a feeling that something big is waiting for us if we dare to search. This sense of mystery transforms the reading experience into an active journey, rather than a passive one. Hill challenges readers not just to absorb information, but to discover the secret for themselves through reflection and action. By making the secret elusive, he ignites curiosity and personal investment. As we turn each page, we're not just learning about success, we're participating in the process of uncovering it, building a sense of ownership over the insights we find. Imagine standing at the edge of a grand adventure. That's what desire is, the first real step toward anything worthwhile. In this chapter, Hill tells us that vague wishes won't cut it. You can't just kind of want success, you need a definite burning desire that feels almost like an obsession. He shares the inspiring story of Edwin Barnes, a man who didn't know exactly how he'd succeed but was crystal clear that he would partner with Thomas Edison. Barnes had no money, no connections, and no guarantee. But his desire was so fierce that it pulled him across all obstacles. Hill teaches us to define exactly what we want, when we want it, and what we're willing to give in return. Only then, he says, does the universe start working in our favor. This chapter makes it clear that desire isn't just a feeling, it's a force. It demands commitment, clarity, and action. Hill's message is simple but powerful. Half-hearted hopes lead nowhere. But a definite purpose, backed by relentless desire, creates momentum that even setbacks can't stop. The story of Barnes reminds us that success doesn't require perfect circumstances. It requires an unwavering decision to succeed, no matter what. Hill challenges us to move beyond daydreams and craft a vision so vivid and urgent that it pulls us toward it, almost as if success becomes inevitable. Hill introduces faith, not in the religious sense necessarily, but belief in yourself and your dreams. Faith is the emotional fuel that turns desire into reality. He explains that faith isn't something you either have or don't have. It's something you can build through repetition, visualization, and self-suggestion. Every time you affirm your goal with emotion, you're programming your subconscious to believe it's possible. Hill shares examples of great inventors and leaders who succeeded largely because they saw victory in their minds long before anyone else did. The message is powerful. The more vividly and confidently you imagine success, the closer you bring it to life. Hill makes it clear that faith is a muscle, not a miracle. It grows stronger with deliberate practice and focused thought. By repeatedly visualizing our goals and emotionally affirming our belief in them, we slowly transform uncertainty into conviction. In Hill's view, mastering this inner process is just as critical as any external effort, because belief, once rooted, shapes reality itself. Hill explains how to talk directly to your subconscious mind through the practice of autosuggestion. This isn't a mystical concept. It's a form of deliberate mental conditioning. Think of your mind like a fertile garden. Whatever seeds you plant, positive or negative, will take root and grow over time. Through autosuggestion, you intentionally plant seeds of success, confidence, wealth, courage, and belief. Napoleon Hill encourages readers to write down their specific goals, read them aloud daily with emotion, and visualize them as already achieved. The key is to mix repetition with genuine feeling, to impress the subconscious mind with clarity and passion. Hill emphasizes that a single affirmation won't create lasting change. It's the steady daily repetition, reinforced by emotion, that slowly reshapes deep-seated beliefs. Over time, this mental training begins to reprogram your thinking patterns, align your subconscious actions with your conscious desires, and magnetize the opportunities and ideas needed to achieve your goals. He reminds us that the subconscious mind cannot distinguish between real and imagined experience. It simply acts on the dominant messages it receives. Therefore, autosuggestion becomes the bridge between thought and achievement, allowing us to condition ourselves for success by controlling the narrative playing inside our minds. It's a powerful tool, simple in theory, but transformative when practiced with consistency and belief. Knowledge is power, right? Well, Hill tweaks that saying. He insists that specialized knowledge, not just general information, is the real power. You don't need to know everything. You need to master a particular skill, or gather the right team of experts who can fill in your gaps. He shares the story of Henry Ford, who wasn't an educated man in the traditional sense, but who built an empire by knowing how to surround himself with knowledgeable people. The takeaway here is refreshing. You don't have to be a genius to succeed. You just need to know how to use knowledge wisely and creatively. The writer emphasizes that learning never really stops. It must be ongoing and purposeful. Instead of hoarding random facts, Napoleon Hill urges us to seek out information that directly serves our goals. Whether through personal study or by tapping into the expertise of others, the aim is always the same: to turn knowledge into action. In this way, success becomes less about how much you know and more about how skillfully you apply what you know. Hill invites us to think of imagination as the real birthplace of success. He introduces two types of imagination: synthetic, where you rearrange existing ideas into new combinations, and creative, where fresh ideas seem to pop out of the blue. Every major success story starts with an idea, often a tiny seed that, when nurtured, grows into something world-changing. Hill nudges readers to dare to dream, to stretch the boundaries of what seems possible, and to keep their imagination active and alive, especially when solving problems or seeking new opportunities. The author makes it clear that imagination isn't a luxury reserved for artists or inventors. It's a critical tool for anyone aiming to achieve greatness. Through both types of imagination, Napoleon Hill shows that innovation often comes not from inventing something entirely new, but from seeing old ideas in a new light. By encouraging us to keep our mental workshop busy and open to inspiration, he reminds us that every breakthrough begins first as a daring thought. Dreaming big is wonderful, but without a plan, it's just a dream. You need to create a clear plan and put it into action immediately, even if the plan isn't perfect. If it fails, tweak it and keep moving. He shares that successful people are not discouraged by temporary defeat. They see it as feedback. Hill's emphasis on persistence, flexibility, and proactive action makes this chapter feel like a friendly but firm push. Don't wait. Start now. Adjust along the way. In this section, the success mentor stresses that action is the true measure of desire. Plans don't have to be flawless at the start. What matters is momentum. Napoleon Hill reminds us that hesitation and overplanning can kill dreams faster than failure ever could. By encouraging constant adjustment and resilience, he frames setbacks not as signs to quit, but as essential stepping stones on the path to achievement. Hill reveals that successful people are decisive. They make choices quickly and change them slowly only when necessary and based on solid evidence. Those who fail, by contrast, tend to waver and seek endless opinions and fear making mistakes more than they fear missed opportunities. Hill underscores that procrastination is often disguised as caution and is one of the greatest obstacles to achievement. He points to historical examples, including leaders and industrialists who rose to greatness, largely because of their ability to act boldly when others hesitated. The author encourages readers to trust their judgment and act without waiting for perfect conditions, which rarely, if ever, exist. Napoleon Hill makes it clear that true leaders are defined by their ability to decide, commit, and move forward with conviction, even under uncertainty. He warns that waiting for absolute certainty is a trap that paralyzes ambition. Through firm decision-making, we build confidence, create momentum, and develop resilience, which are critical qualities that turn even imperfect actions into valuable lessons and stepping stones toward success. This chapter feels like an empowering pep talk, a reminder that hesitation often robs us of our best opportunities. In Hill's philosophy, boldness backed by thoughtful intent is one of the key traits separating those who achieve their dreams from those who only wish for them. Persistence is the iron will to keep moving forward when everything seems stacked against you. Napoleon Hill explains that persistence isn't a trait you're simply born with. It must be developed through conscious effort, like strengthening a muscle through repeated exercise. He shares powerful stories of individuals who endured rejection, loss, and hardship, yet ultimately triumphed because they refused to surrender to discouragement. Hill points out that talent, intelligence, and opportunity mean little without the grit to keep going when the road gets rough. Success, he reminds us, often hides just beyond the point where most people give up. When you push through hardship, you send a message to the world and to yourself that you're truly committed. In return, life tends to reward that seriousness with breakthroughs that would have remained hidden had you quit too soon. No great success story is a solo act. Napoleon Hill stresses the transformative power of the mastermind, a deliberate alliance of individuals who share knowledge, energy, and encouragement. A mastermind group isn't just a gathering of friends or casual business contacts. It's a carefully selected circle where each member brings unique strengths, specialized knowledge, and a shared commitment to mutual success. Hill explains that when two or more minds come together in perfect harmony, they create a third, intangible force which holds greater power, insight, and creative potential than the individuals could achieve separately. This is not merely a poetic idea. Hill treats it as a practical necessity for extraordinary achievement. He draws examples from industrial titans like Henry Ford and Andrew Carnegie, whose fortunes were not built alone but through the strategic coordination of talented advisors and partners. The mastermind principle teaches us that success not only loves company, it demands the right kind of company. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift, challenge, and inspire you multiplies your strength and creativity. It becomes clear that while individual effort can lead to success, coordinated effort fueled by aligned minds leads to greatness. Napoleon Hill approaches the next topic with thoughtfulness and seriousness. He explains that human passion, especially sexual energy, is one of the most potent emotions we experience. Left unchecked, it can scatter focus, cloud judgment, and sap energy. However, when consciously redirected or transmuted into creative outlets, ambition, and perseverance, it becomes a powerful catalyst for achievement. Hill stresses that many of history's most successful individuals were driven by intense emotional energy, which they learned to channel into their work, inventions, businesses, or art. Sex transmutation, in this sense, is not about repression, but about conscious redirection, taking one of the strongest natural impulses and transforming it into productive energy. He points out that sexual energy enhances imagination, courage, willpower, persistence, and even leadership qualities when properly channeled. By mastering this internal force, individuals can dramatically boost their vitality, sharpen their mental focus, and unlock higher levels of creativity and achievement. Rather than viewing passion as a distraction or liability, Hill reframes it as a potential superpower, but only if managed wisely. The mastery of sex transmutation, he suggests, is one of the most challenging yet rewarding disciplines on the journey to personal and professional greatness. Hill next introduces the subconscious mind, which is like a loyal but impressionable servant. It listens intently, without judgment, to whatever emotions and thoughts you consistently feed it. The author emphasizes that it acts on dominant thoughts mixed with emotion, whether they are positive or negative. If you pour in faith, optimism, and bold visions, the subconscious mind works tirelessly to help you uncover opportunities and solutions. But if you constantly feed it fear, worry, and self-doubt, it will just as efficiently guide you toward defeat. Hill challenges us to become vigilant gatekeepers of our mental environment, carefully selecting what we allow to take root. By consciously nourishing our subconscious with empowering beliefs, we align ourselves more deeply with our highest goals and unlock unseen forces working in our favor. Then Napoleon Hill presents a fascinating view of the brain as a living radio, simultaneously sending out and receiving thought vibrations. He suggests that the brain is both a powerful transmitter and a sensitive receiver, picking up not just random thoughts, but especially those charged with strong emotion and clear purpose. According to Hill, thoughts mixed with intense feelings like faith, love, or fear travel farther and faster, influencing not only our own actions, but also subtly reaching the minds of others. This invisible exchange of energy, helps explain why certain people seem to attract the right opportunities, mentors, or breakthroughs when they need them most. The more intensely we focus on a specific goal, the more we seem to magnetize circumstances and people that align with that desire. Hill encourages readers to recognize that their minds are never silent. They are constantly broadcasting signals that either attract success or repel it. By deliberately controlling and tuning our thoughts, we can influence not just our inner world, but our external environment as well. It's a poetic and powerful image, but also a practical call to action. We must consciously align our mental broadcasts with our deepest ambitions if we want to shape our reality. Hill now introduces the sixth sense, a subtle but powerful form of intuition that emerges only after mastering the earlier principles. He describes it as a kind of unknown agency that provides sudden flashes of insight, guidance, and warnings that can be crucial to success. According to Hill, the sixth sense is not something that can be forced or consciously developed through willpower alone. Instead, it awakens naturally after consistent effort in developing desire, faith, persistence, organized planning, and control of the subconscious mind. It is the final piece that ties together all the previous lessons, offering a deeper connection to inspiration, opportunity, and wise decision-making. These intuitive moments are not random accidents. Hill explains that they are the natural result of intense mental discipline and emotional mastery. The sixth sense often provides just the right idea or caution at the exact moment it is needed, helping individuals make better choices and avoid unseen pitfalls. Rather than something mystical, Hill frames the sixth sense as a higher function of a mind, finely tuned by preparation and practice. It acts as a quiet but trustworthy guide, a reminder that the greatest opportunities are often recognized not just by logic, but by a deeper inner knowing available to those who are ready to receive it. Finally, Napoleon Hill brings everything together by confronting the greatest enemy of all, fear, the silent killer of dreams. He identifies 6 basic fears that often sabotage success: the fear of poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death. Each, he explains, is a state of mind. Like any mental condition, it can be reshaped with conscious effort and disciplined thought. Hill stresses that fear thrives in secrecy and ignorance. The first step to mastery is awareness, naming the fear, understanding its roots, and refusing to allow it to control decisions or actions. By dragging fear into the light, we strip it of its power. He emphasizes that fear feeds on indecision, doubt, and hesitation. To outwit it, we must actively build faith, self-confidence, and mental resilience through positive autosuggestion and decisive action. The mind cannot entertain faith and fear. One must dominate. Hill's stirring conclusion reminds readers that while strategies, skills, and plans are essential, the true battle for success is fought within. It is not external barriers that most often defeat us, but the ghosts we allow to haunt our thinking. To truly grow rich in wealth, health, or happiness, we must first liberate ourselves from the invisible chains of fear. Hill's Think and Grow Rich isn't just a guide to financial wealth, it's a guide to mental mastery. Throughout the book, he makes it clear that lasting success is never purely external. It is shaped and molded within the mind long before it appears in the physical world. He teaches that true achievement begins with clear, definite desires, fueled by unwavering faith, strengthened by persistent action, and protected by the conscious rejection of fear. Every principle builds on the idea that the mind is our most powerful asset, or our greatest obstacle. Hill's timeless message reminds us that riches, whether in money, health, happiness, or fulfillment, always begin with the way we think, believe, and act upon our dreams. Thanks for watching this summary. If you liked this video and wish to dive deeper, you can grab the full summary as an ebook and explore all our platforms through the links in the description. Keep feeding your mind with digestible books. See you in the next one.